Welcome to another part of Commentator's Corner with me, Tom Pickup. Alongside me today we've got two big names. We've got Rob Parker, regular contributor, and my brother Matt, back from New York to give his two penneth on the world of sports over the last few days. Just looking back over those last few days, we've had the Pakistani cricketing scandal, the match fixing scandal. We've had some pretty bad things off the field for the rugby team, England Rugby Union with Mike Tindall. We've had some bad things off the field in the world of football. The John Terry scandal is still rowing. Amidst all that, we've had some good news, and England beating Spain, of course. So without further ado, let's get the debate going. Guys, it's part two now. We've had quite an eventful week of sport again. Mm-hmm. Now, even though it was a couple of weeks ago now, the Pakistani cricketers, that trial has finished, and we've got some cricketers in jail. I mean, this is something we probably never thought we'd see.
No, not at all. I think fair play for the authorities for actually having the guts to go ahead with criminal proceedings in a sporting environment like this, because cheating's a crime. Crimes need to be punished. But you're right, you rarely ever see it.
And I think Ian Botham said he's been suspicious, for some time, and it probably has been going on a lot more recently now that betting is so accessible to people. Because the things they were doing weren't sort of fixing matches per se. That was part of the defence, wasn't it? They weren't sort of deliberately, not catching balls or anything like that. No. It was just for the stats, wasn't it? People betting on no balls, deliberately doing that. But it is match fixing. There's no doubt about that. Is there?
Is anything to alter the outcome statistically of a game? If it's done on purpose, it's a match fixing, incident, surely.
And the runs, single runs are massiff margins, aren't they, in cricket?
Yeah.
It can be.
It sets a precedent as well, though, because betting has been, match fixing and that sort of thing's been around cricket for a while now. There've been, cases like Hansi Cronje and all that. So it's good that this is trying to set a precedent that if you do these sorts of things, then you will face a jury or face a trial, and then you will be put in jail.
It's quite a bad time for Pakistan now, isn't it? Pakistan cricket. We've got, obviously they can't play in the home country. We've got the test in Dubai coming up, which England will play. And a country like that, it's the biggest sport by a mile.
It's gigantic.
And you think of the kids watching, don't you? Now that they can't even see cricket, and the best players are locked up. It's bad, isn't it?
It's, the players that were involved in this scandal as well. We're talking about the captain of the national side.
Absolutely.
It goes right to the top. Cricket is not the first sport to have allegations of match fixing or result fixing involved in it. I just don't know how at that level you thought you could get away with it. It does give rise to you thinking, does this happen? Is it commonplace? A lot of big names like Botham have said, yes, it is. It's everywhere. And it shocks you, it scares you a bit, doesn't it? Of course, the news of the world before it went out of print or whatever. It was sort of famed for exposing this kind of thing. John Higgins in snooker was exposed.
Yeah, he was. He's been allowed to come back, of course. Now, his wasn't deemed as serious. I don't think it was.
Yeah.
And he's done very well, hasn't he, since he's come back?
Yeah,
Do you think? Is there any way back for these guys, or is that it?
Well, the prison term is going to dictate the amount of playing time they get. I don't know. The worst, the young lad. At 19 is he now, but he was 18 when this happened, and he's got sort of, is it a five-year ban from the sport or something like that at all levels. Oh gosh, what a talent you just throw away.
Yeah.
Maybe cricket is not, if it was in a more physically, you could say physically demanding sport, 5 years out, that's a massive mountain to climb. Cricket these days is obviously, you have to be much more athletic than perhaps you did 50 years ago. But it's a long period out, isn't it? And with a lot of young players coming through the ranks,
think about how much the game changes. Any sport changes over 5 years so much, in technology, in speed, either up or down. The game won't be the same shape when he comes back to it.
Well, we've had that trial, and that's one captain who's in trouble. Well, he's in big trouble. He's had it now, hasn't he, for now? But the other captain we talked about last week, John Terry.
Yeah.
Now we've not really had any developments per se. We're still waiting for these findings from the FA. Don't know when they'll be ready for us. But we've had an England game we've had John Terry selected but not chosen. We believe he's going to be playing against Sweden though, which is something to talk about. And also he's had a press conference today saying that he's, he's facing the allegations and he can't really say anymore, can he?
Yeah, I think at the minute I always get the feeling that the FA in a way have bottled it. You've got the opportunity to get this thing ironed out, and they don't. They just fudge the issue. The FA comes under fire for a lot of things, but their mismanagement of situations like this is, fairly legendary. I know I'm probably speaking prematurely by saying that, but not been impressed so far. If you've got problems in-house, which it is, this is their poster boy, isn't he? Terry? No,
well,
you make him the captain of the national side. He is the figurehead. Deal with it and get it sorted. But it's going to take more time than that, I think.
If it was, I don't know, if it was in the middle of a major tournament and it happened then, you'd say, oh, it'd have to be dropped, wouldn't it? It's mood in the camp. But I think because it's sort of been close season international-wise, it's almost been taken less seriously. I don't know where it's going to go next. We've all seen things on the internet. That in itself isn't enough to convict. But as we said last time, it's the aggressive nature of the man and it's his background which doesn't help, and it's other incidents that have come up.
Yeah,
but it will be fascinating to see what happens with the inquiry into it, and then if he is found guilty, what the punishment will be. Because this could be like one of the biggest things to have happened in English football, certainly in recent years. And then, because, they've been trying to stamp out racism in football for so long now, and this is another massive step backwards, particularly, even if, he's not found to have done it, it still brings the issue up, and I just really wonder what will happen if he is found guilty.
Yeah, how do you deal with that problem? Actually, what do? Do you ban him from the sport? Do you ban him for an extended period of time? What you're effectively doing, if you give that guy a guilty verdict, you're saying, well, you are a racist. That's it.
That's the
and
bad
can
stuff.
you allow him to come back into the game at any level, considering all the leaps and bounds that the football authorities are trying to make to promote, racial equality, racial awareness? You see it, they wear the badges before the game, the coaches are wearing the badges, there's the t-shirts in the warm-ups, the kick racism out of football. What are you doing if you let a guy come back in who's convicted of it? That exactly what you said there, Matt, makes me think that they're just going to bottle it again, and they won't properly address it, racist or not. They will. There'll be a non-guilty verdict here.
You think so?
We said it last time. I honestly think because they don't. Even if he's found guilty of it, in their own hearts, they won't say yes, you're guilty of it, because they just will not, as you say, know how to handle it.
The whole "Let's Keep Racism Out of Football" campaign is geared towards the fans.
Yeah.
It was, on the day we've probably all witnessed it in games. Probably not for a few years now. I think they've done well with that. You had the odd, fans heckling, players on the pitch, but no one would ever think the players don't mind the England captain. We're not saying he's done it yet, but it's come up, as we've said last week, with the Suarez and Evra.
Yeah.
It's come up. I've seen on Stan Collingwood's Twitter. He's had to apparently remove some comments because there's been some racist element to them, and that was actually about him talking about this very subject.
Yeah.
We saw the Chelsea fans having a go at Anton Ferdinand.
There's Sammy Amiobi on Twitter. What kind of world do we live in when Sammy Amiobi is not safe on Twitter?
No, absolutely. It's ridiculous. A young player as well, and it's almost you didn't know fans existed who would think, even if he has said something racist, he's our captain, so we'll defend him and we'll have a go at you for accusing him, even though he hasn't really accused him, Anton, has he?
No,
not publicly yet.
Remain quite tight-lipped about it. Again, the advisors that work behind this must be just working overtime trying to iron this one out between the parties. But like you say about the fans, the Chelsea fans, when they were away in the Champions League, chanting about Anton Ferdinand.
What did they say? The black Chelsea fans in behind the net think of that?
Unbelievable, really.